Hey sisters, you may have heard that intermittent fasting is the answer for PCOS weight loss. But did you know that studies done on intermittent fasting rarely include women, especially women with PCOS? Well, today I'm gonna help you decide whether intermittent fasting is right for you. It's not for everyone, so if you're looking to try it, this video will help you find a style that works for you. Stay tuned until the end when I share with you some PCOS experiences with intermittent fasting from sisters who have DM'd me. I'll be discussing why they may have worked or not worked for PCOS. The reason why intermittent fasting is such a big topic in the PCOS world is because it helps with your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm. That means it helps with getting certain hormones to be high when they need to be high and low when they need to be low. This can be further accomplished while you're doing everything else while intermittent fasting, whether it be going gluten and dairy free or cutting out caffeine or prioritizing your sleep. Comment below and let us know your experience with intermittent fasting and how it worked for you. Some benefits of intermittent fasting include lowering blood sugar, improving insulin levels and insulin resistance, reducing inflammation, and encouraging your body to lose weight. It also helps with sleep, immune system function, and fertility. If you have the type of PCOS where you have lots of insulin resistance or inflammation, then intermittent fasting might be the right fit for you. If your PCOS type is more along the lines of adrenal fatigue, then it might not be the right fit, and it might actually further aggravate your body's stress hormones. To learn more about your PCOS type, check out my YouTube video to help you find out what type of PCOS you might have. So, one general style of fasting that works for most sisters is a 12-hour fast. It's more mild, but again, it's not for everyone. It's important to consider a 12-hour fast because we can't just be grazing on food around the clock, morning, noon, and night. Eating around the clock keeps your digestive system awake and working, and then that further dysregulates your metabolism. So fasting does help with that internal clock, that circadian rhythm, and it keeps your hormones in balance. The 12-hour overnight fast is a safe time span for almost everyone, unless you're pregnant or you have health issues and conditions. You want to make sure that you don't fall in those categories. Think of it this way. When you eat, the food breaks down into sugar. Your insulin hormone goes up in response in order to burn or store that sugar for energy. And if you're constantly snacking throughout the day, around the clock, then insulin levels will constantly be up. We don't want that. That triggers cravings, and it triggers high testosterone and all of your PCOS symptoms that you can possibly imagine. We want insulin to drop in between meals and stay low in between those meals. And during your fasting window, your insulin will naturally be low because you're not eating. That way your body will shift into fat burning mode. When you're fasting, your body will use what's stored instead of using what you're eating for energy. The period of fasting allows your metabolism to burn fat. Now, I want you to be aware that even though this is a mild form of fasting, the 12-hour window, it's still not for everyone. You might feel hungry before you go to bed, and your body might go through a blood sugar drop while you're asleep, making it hard to get good quality sleep. So, monitor how you feel. Maybe some spearmint tea mixed with some collagen powder, maybe a tablespoon of almond butter is just what you need before bed to keep your blood sugar stable throughout the night. Try it. If it feels good, it might help you sleep better. If your cravings for food and sweets after dinner is a bit more extreme, you might want to consider taking Ovasitol twice a day. This supplement has helped so many sisters with their cravings, and literally in like 15 minutes after taking it, you can feel the effects. Inositol is one of the most researched supplements for PCOS, so I've linked it in the description below for you to check it out if you haven't already. So back to fasting. If after 1 month of trying a 12-hour fast at night, your energy is good and you're not struggling with evening hunger or cravings, you're ready to shrink your eating window a little bit, just by an hour. See how you feel. Try a 13-hour fast. Then, in another month, try a 14-hour fast. Evaluate how you feel before increasing the fasting window it could be too much for you to do a 14-hour fast. As long as you feel good while you're doing it, that's how you know it's gonna be good for your body. Keep in mind that a lot of the research done on fasting was not done on women, let alone women with PCOS. Out of 71 studies found in Harvard's database for intermittent fasting, only 13 included women. Beyond that, absolutely none of the controlled studies focus on the female population in general. So, when you're trying this out, you're really experimenting with your body. You're seeing what works for you. I don't recommend at all that you fast longer than 14 hours every single night because some studies done on women show that female hormones are sensitive to fasting and you can induce menstrual irregulation just by lengthening that fasting window. One way I like to fast is by sticking to the 12-hour fasting window and then increasing it to 13 or 14 hours once or twice a week. That's what works best for me, and that's what makes me feel like I'm not restricting. Bottom line, try fasting with caution. Evaluate yourself every step of the way. See how you feel. With that being said, let's talk a bit more about the advanced styles of fasting. If you want to incorporate longer fasts into your life, this is a stricter form of fasting. It's called the 5-2 intermittent fasting method. This is when you spend 5 days out of the week eating 1,800 to 2,000 calories, and then the other 2 days eating only 500 calories. Think about it. This is a normal thing that our ancestors would have done, because there wasn't always plentiful food all the time. I don't personally enjoy this type of fasting because it's way too restrictive for me. I prefer the 12-hour fast, but if you like this and it feels good for you, it's a healthy way to incorporate longer fasting periods into your life. If you do try this, be sure not to eat the 500 calories on consecutive days because your body might kick you into starvation mode. This increases stress hormones and slows your metabolism down. Leave 2 days between the fasting days. Basically, we're tricking our body and brain that we're not starving. So that's the thing. That's why I keep mentioning that you need to find what's right for you and what feels good. Because if you don't feel good, then your body is gonna feel like it's starving and hang on to every bite that you eat. If you don't feel stressed or hangry, then the fasting method is working for you. If you do, then it might take some time before your body is ready for that style of fasting, or maybe that's just not in the cards for you. So I did a little research myself and I went on Instagram and posted a sticker and asked my fellow sisters, you guys, have you tried intermittent fasting and how was it? So let me read some responses. One sister said, I'm loving it. Really helps curb my cravings and no more midnight snacks. Well, that's wonderful. That's probably because while she's fasting, her insulin levels are nice and low. And if they're high, then that's when your body thinks that you need to eat something, right? So it's helping to curb her cravings. So that's great. Another sister, lost some weight, but hypoglycemia had me shook, so I had to stop. Definitely stop. You don't want to get hypoglycemic. You might pass out. That is not ideal. You do not have to force yourself to that length while you're fasting. Make sure that you're being really conscious of your body. If it's not working for you, grab something to eat. You don't have to be perfect at it. You don't even have to do it. Another sister says, it's helping me be more conscious of what I eat and stop random snacking. Very cool. I love that. It definitely does make you more conscious because you only have a specific window to eat in. So for example, the 12-hour window. If I don't eat all my calories within that 12-hour window, I'm gonna feel like snacking later in the day. Another sister says, it was good for me. I fasted 14 hours instead of 16 and that felt better. Well, that's great. 16 is a lot. Another sister says, my weight didn't move and I was tired and hungry all the time. Well, it sounds like she might have the adrenal type of PCOS that I mentioned earlier, where your stress hormones spike and then you kind of feel fatigued and anxious and hungry because your blood sugar is low. So do not recommend it for if you're struggling with that. Another sister says she gained weight while she was intermittent fasting. So again, it could be playing with your stress hormones. Your blood sugar being too low stresses your body out. When your body is in stress mode, then it's just gonna hang on to everything. So it's possible. Another sister said, I'm loving it. I'm doing it now. Combined with dairy-free and gluten-free, I feel so much better. Well, that's wonderful. I love to hear that. It's definitely something that you want to incorporate with your other diet and lifestyle changes. Intermittent fasting can be great, but with PCOS, there's so many factors. It's multifactorial. There's so many different things that play into our symptoms. It could be inflammation, it could be insulin resistance. So intermittent fasting helps with both of those, and so does gluten and dairy free. Another sister says, I feel amazing. I'm sleeping better. I'm more energized. I lost weight too. Awesome. So sounds like intermittent fasting works for some and not for others. And like I said earlier, we really got to evaluate how we feel. So sisters, I hope you have a better idea of whether or not intermittent fasting is the right fit for you. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and take the quiz in the description to see what type of PCOS you might have. I always appreciate every like, comment, and share.